What's up? I'm Lily Revenge Crown brings you the stories that keep you hooked. If that sounds good, smash subscribe and let's go.
The group chat message came through on December 3rd at 10:23 a.m. I was in a meeting with my investment advisor when my phone lit up with the family photo planning thread. Dad's message was characteristically blunt. Family photos are only for people we're proud to show off. Let's keep it to people who've actually accomplished something. My sister Emily's response came 90 seconds later. Honestly, she'd literally look like the charity case of the family standing next to all of us. The optics are just bad. Mom, always the diplomat, added, maybe when you get your life together, sweetie. We want the photos to reflect success. You understand. I set my phone face down and returned my attention to Michael, who was reviewing the final paperwork for my latest real estate investment. He'd paused when my phone buzzed, professional enough not to comment. Sorry, I said. Family stuff. You were saying about the Denver property? The exclusion wasn't surprising. I'd been edited out of the family narrative for the better part of 7 years, ever since I'd left my job at my father's insurance firm to pursue medical device development. They'd called it reckless. Stupid. A waste of my business degree. When I tried to explain the market opportunity, Dad had cut me off. You're throwing away a stable career for some pipe dream. Don't come crying to us when it fails. I hadn't. When it succeeded, spectacularly, I hadn't told them that either. My company, MedTech Innovations, held patents on 3 revolutionary surgical devices. Our cardiac mapping system reduced surgery time by 40%. Our revenue last year was $47 million. My personal net worth, according to Michael's latest assessment, was approximately $31 million. My parents thought I was barely scraping by. Mom had told relatives I was still figuring things out for 7 consecutive Christmases. Dad referred to my work as that little medical thing she does. Emily had once asked if I needed money for rent. I'd stopped correcting them around year 4. They'd built their story. Let them live in it. What they didn't know, what nobody in my family knew except my grandmother, was that 3 months ago St. Catherine's Hospital had approached me about a donation. Their pediatric cardiac unit was outdated. They needed $5 million to build a new wing with state-of-the-art equipment. The same hospital where surgeons had saved my life when I was 9 years old. Where I'd spent 6 weeks recovering from an emergency valve replacement. Where I'd decided, lying in that bed, that I wanted to help build better tools for the doctors who'd given me a future. I'd written the check the same day. All $5 million. The new wing would be called the Catherine Chin Pediatric Cardiac Center. Construction had finished in November. The dedication ceremony was scheduled for December 15th. Grandma Rose was the only family member who knew what I actually did for a living. She'd asked questions when others hadn't. Visited my lab when I'd gotten my first patent. Shown up to my company's first product launch when my parents had been too busy. At 86, she was sharper than all of them combined. She was also on the hospital's volunteer board, which meant she'd be at the December 15th dedication ceremony. I hadn't connected those dots until my phone rang at 3:47 p.m. that day. Katie. Her voice was shaking. Crying. Katie, I'm at the hospital. The new pediatric wing. There's a plaque. Your name is on a plaque. I pulled over into a parking lot. Grandma. $5 million. The plaque says you donated $5 million. He was definitely crying now. When? How? Why didn't you tell anyone? It wasn't about telling anyone. It was about helping kids. Your mother told me last month you were struggling. That you'd asked them for money. My hands tightened on the steering wheel. I've never asked them for money. Not once in 7 years. I know that now. Her voice turned sharp through the tears. I'm looking at a plaque that says you donated more money than your father's made in his entire career. And they told me you were struggling. Grandma. I'm calling your father. Right now. You don't have to. The line went dead. My phone started ringing 4 minutes later. Then Mom. Then Emily. Then my brother Marcus. Then my Aunt Linda. 15 calls in 12 minutes. I let them all go to voicemail. The first voicemail was Dad, his voice tight. We need to talk. Call me immediately. The second was Mom. Honey, Grandma Rose is very upset. She's saying things that don't make sense. Please call us back. The third was Emily. Is this real? Did you actually donate $5 million to a hospital? Where would you even get that kind of money? I deleted them all and called my assistant. Rebecca, I'm going to be unreachable for the next few hours. If anyone from my family calls the office, tell them I'm unavailable. Will do. Everything okay? It's about to be very loud. But yes, everything's fine. The news hit the local press by 5 p.m. Local entrepreneur donates $5 million for pediatric cardiac wing. The article included a photo of the plaque, my name in bronze letters, and a quote from the hospital's CEO praising my transformative generosity. By 6 p.m. it was on 3 news channels. By 7 p.m. someone had posted it to Facebook and tagged half my extended family. My phone showed 127 missed calls by 8 p.m. I turned it off and made dinner. The next morning I arrived at my office to find my Uncle Richard waiting in the lobby. He stood when he saw me, his face carefully neutral. "Your father asked me to talk to you," he said. "Did he?" I kept walking toward my private office. Richard followed. Inside I gestured to a chair. He sat. I stayed standing. "He wants to know why you didn't tell them about the donation," Richard said. "He wants to know why I donated $5 million when they think I'm broke," I corrected. Richard had the grace to look uncomfortable. "Your mother said you were having financial difficulties." "My mother hasn't asked about my finances in 7 years. She assumed I was struggling because I left Dad's firm. She never checked if that assumption was correct." "But $5 million. My company made $47 million last year. I own 60% of it. I have 3 patents that generate passive licensing income. My investment portfolio is diversified across real estate, index funds, and bonds." I kept my voice level, clinical. "I'm not having financial difficulties. I never was." Richard stared at me. "They don't know any of this. They never asked." "But you could have told them." "Why? So they could take credit? So Dad could explain to people how he taught me everything? So Mom could tell relatives she always knew I'd succeed?" I sat down behind my desk. "They decided I was a failure. They excluded me from family events. They told people I was figuring things out while I was building a multimillion-dollar company. That was their choice. Their family. Family shows up. Family asks questions. Family doesn't tell their daughter she'll look like the charity case in Christmas photos." I opened my laptop. "I have a meeting in 10 minutes. Was there anything else?" Richard left without another word. The calls continued. I blocked 43 numbers over the next 2 days. My voicemail filled up twice. Emily sent a text from a new number. "We need to talk about this. You're making Mom and Dad look like terrible parents." I replied once, "I'm not making them look like anything. I'm just existing." The hospital dedication ceremony was December 15th at 2 p.m. I wore a black suit and arrived 15 minutes early. The new wing was beautiful, bright, modern, with equipment that would save countless lives. My plaque was in the main lobby, bronze and permanent. "Catherine Chin," it read, "whose generosity and vision made this center possible. With gratitude for her commitment to saving young lives." Hospital CEO Dr. Patricia Morrison found me in the lobby. "Miss Chin, thank you for coming. We're so honored." She shook my hand warmly. "Your donation is already changing lives. We admitted our first patient yesterday, a 6-year-old who needed emergency surgery. The new equipment reduced her procedure time by 3 hours. That's why I did this," I said simply. The ceremony filled the lobby with doctors, staff, board members, donors, and press. Grandma Rose sat in the front row, still crying on and off. She'd called me 4 times since discovering the plaque, each time saying she was proud of me, that she'd always known that my parents were fools. Dr. Morrison's speech was thorough. She explained the wing's capabilities, the lives it would save, the research it would enable. She thanked me specifically, detailing my company's work in medical devices and how this donation represented a commitment to the next generation of cardiac care. The applause was long. Cameras flashed. A reporter from the local news approached for an interview afterward. "Miss Chin, what inspired this donation?" "This hospital saved my life when I was 9. I wanted to help them save more lives. Your family must be very proud." I smiled politely. "I'm sure they are." The interview aired at 6 p.m. By 6:30 p.m. my phone, which I'd turned back on, had 58 new messages. "Mom, we saw you on the news. So proud. Call us. Dad, that was a beautiful ceremony. We need to discuss this donation. Call me. Emily, everyone's asking why we weren't there. This is humiliating. Call me back. Marcus, did you really donate $5 million? Are you rich? WTF. I responded to none of them. My cousin Jennifer called at 7 p.m. I answered because she'd never participated in the family's dismissal of me. Katie. Holy shit. A $5 million donation. Yeah. And your parents had no idea you had that kind of money? Correct. Your mom's been telling everyone you asked to borrow money for rent last year. I own a house in Pasadena. No mortgage. I've never asked them for money. Silence. Then, Jesus. They really don't know anything about your life, do they? No. Your dad called my mom. Wanted to know if we knew you were secretly wealthy. Like you've been hiding a crime. Jennifer laughed, but it wasn't amused. I told him anyone who'd bothered to ask would have known you were successful. That shut him up. Thanks, Jen. Your mom's doing damage control. Telling people there was a miscommunication about Christmas photos. There wasn't. I know. I saw the group chat before she deleted the messages. Your sister literally called you the charity case. She did. Are you okay? I looked around my living room. Awards on the shelves. Photos with my team. The architectural drawing of the hospital wing framed on my wall. I'm fine. Better than fine. The Christmas photo session was December 18th. I wasn't invited, no correction message ever came. But my cousin Jennifer sent me photos afterward. 23 family members arranged in front of a decorated tree. Mom and Dad in the center smiling. Emily beside them with her husband. Marcus with his girlfriend. All looking successful. All looking proud. All looking like they hadn't just spent 2 weeks calling me desperately after discovering I'd donated more money than most of them would make in their lifetimes. Jennifer's caption, family photo. Missing a few people this year. The comments were illuminating. Aunt Linda, where's Katie? Uncle Richard, beautiful family. Grandma Rose, not everyone who matters is in this photo. My mother's response to Grandma Rose, Mom, please. This isn't the place. Grandma Rose replied again, you're right. Katie's place is on the plaque at the hospital, where everyone can see her name for the next 50 years. I screenshot that exchange and saved it. Christmas Eve I hosted dinner at my house. 26 people. Grandma Rose. Jennifer and her family. 3 colleagues from work. My best friend from college. My investment advisor and his wife. The hospital CEO and her husband. People who'd celebrated my success, who'd supported me, who'd never once made me feel like I had to hide who I'd become. We ate on my back patio, heaters warming the December air. Grandma Rose gave a toast to Katie, who proves that family isn't always blood. It's people who show up. The applause was genuine. Dr. Morrison added her own words. And to Katie, whose gift will save lives for generations. That's a legacy worth celebrating. At 8 p.m. my phone buzzed. A text from my mother's number. Merry Christmas, sweetie. We miss you. Hope you're having a nice holiday. I showed it to Grandma Rose. She snorted. She told me this morning you were probably spending Christmas alone. That you'd pushed everyone away. What did you tell her? That you were hosting dinner for 26 people. That you'd built a real family from people who actually valued you. He squeezed my hand. And that her loss was everyone else's gain. I deleted Mom's message without responding. Later Jennifer found me in the kitchen. Your parents drove past your house earlier. Saw all the cars. How do you know? Your mom texted my mom. Said you were having some kind of party, and she was concerned. Concerned about what? That you're okay. That you're not lonely. Jennifer rolled her eyes. My mom told her you looked pretty unlonely surrounded by people who actually care about you. Your mom didn't respond. At midnight, standing on my patio with the last few guests, Grandma Rose asked the question I'd been waiting for. Do you think they'll ever understand? No. I'd thought about this a lot in the past 2 weeks. Understanding would require them to admit they were wrong. That they excluded me. That they built a story about my failure while I was succeeding. That takes humility they don't have. Does it hurt? Not anymore. And it was true. I spent years trying to prove myself to them. trying to earn their pride that I finally realized I didn't need it. The hospital has my name on it. Patients will be saved in a wing I made possible. I have people who respect me, colleagues who trust me, friends who chose me. I gestured toward my house. This is my family now. And your parents? They wanted access to my success, not a relationship with me. There's a difference. I finished my wine. They saw the plaque with my name and immediately called asking about money. Not asking if I was okay. Not asking why I donated. Just trying to figure out what they could get from it. Grandma Rose nodded slowly. Your mother asked me yesterday if I thought you'd help pay for your sister's wedding. Said it would be the family thing to do. What did you say? That family helps each other before they need something. That they made their choice 7 years ago. She smiled. She hung up on me. 3 months later I hosted Easter dinner. 31 people this time. Grandma Rose brought her entire bridge club. The hospital's chief of cardiology came with his family. My patents had generated another $2.3 million in licensing fees that quarter. My phone buzzed at 1 p.m. Mom, happy Easter. Would love to see you soon. I deleted it and turned my phone off. Jennifer, watching me, raised her glass. To people who know your worth. To people who knew it before the plaque, I corrected. We toasted. Outside the garden was blooming. Inside my house was full of laughter. My family, the one I'd built from people who'd chosen me, celebrated together. My parents had wanted Christmas photos with people they were proud to show off. I'd become someone they desperately wanted in the photos. Just not for them. The plaque at St. Catherine's would outlast their regrets. My name in bronze. Permanent. Unchangeable. They'd called me the charity case. I'd become the charity. And they'd never be in the picture.